There's a damaging tornado on the ground right now.
More than 24 people are dead, several missing from powerful tornadoes that ripped through Mississippi and Alabama.
Hold your breath and brace yourself, for the wrath of nature's fury is far from over. As tornado season unleashes its relentless onslaught, communities across the United States are left reeling from the aftermath of destruction. Lives lost, homes and businesses reduced to rubble, and countless injuries. The toll is staggering. And yet the worst may be yet to come. With early April marking just the beginning of this tumultuous season, another outbreak is looming on the horizon, and it's unlike any we've seen before. In this gripping video, we'll delve into the impending storm, uncovering why this one is set to be vastly different, shrouded in suspense and uncertainty. Are you ready to face the brewing tempest? Tornadoes, those formidable and awe-inspiring forces of nature, have long captivated our imagination and struck fear into our hearts. In the United States, tornadoes are a common occurrence, particularly during the dreaded tornado season that spans from late winter to early summer. From the flat plains of the Midwest to the bustling cities of the South, tornadoes have left an indelible mark on the landscape and history of the nation. The United States has a unique geographical and meteorological landscape that makes it particularly prone to tornadoes. The convergence of warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico and cool, dry air from Canada creates the ideal conditions for these powerful storms to form. The vast open spaces of the Great Plains provide the perfect breeding ground for tornadoes to develop, with their flat terrain allowing for the unobstructed flow of air and wind. Throughout history, the United States has experienced some of the most devastating tornado outbreaks on record. One of the deadliest tornado outbreaks in US history, known as the Tri-State Tornado, occurred on March 18, 1925, and cut a path of destruction through Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, claiming over 600 lives and leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. In more recent years, the super outbreak of April 3rd to 4th, 1974 is etched in memory as it spawned a staggering 148 tornadoes in just 24 hours, causing widespread destruction and claiming over 300 lives. Despite advancements in technology and improved warning systems, tornadoes continue to pose a significant threat to communities across the nation. In recent years, we have witnessed the destructive power of tornadoes in events such as the tornado outbreak of April 2011, which saw a massive EF5 tornado tear through Joplin, Missouri, leaving a path of destruction in its wake and claiming over 150 lives. More recently, early April of this year has already witnessed a series of destructive tornado outbreaks, with communities in several states, including Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia, being devastated by these powerful storms. The anticipation and uncertainty that come with tornado season are palpable. Meteorologists and storm chasers diligently track weather patterns, providing timely warnings and alerts to vulnerable areas. Communities prepare with emergency plans, seeking shelter in basements or storm shelters and hoping for the best as the winds pick up and the sky darkens. However, tornadoes are notoriously unpredictable, often changing course at a moment's notice, leaving little time for preparation or evacuation. However, the 2023 tornado season in the United States is off to a wild and windy start, leaving meteorologists and storm chasers on their toes. With over 420 preliminary reports of tornadoes and 391 already confirmed as of April 6, it's been an active and intense season so far. January saw 126 tornadoes, February had 53, March recorded a staggering 163, and April has already seen 48 tornadoes. And that's not all. There are still tornadoes in the investigative stages, which means the final count could be even higher. Comparing these numbers to historical data, it's clear that 2023 is breaking records. Research from the National Centers for Environmental Information shows that the average number of tornadoes for January, February, March, and April from 1991 to 2020 was much lower than what we're experiencing now. January 2023's total is the second highest on record since 1991, while February's tornado count is one of the highest in recent years. March, on the other hand, ranks as the fifth highest since 1991 in terms of tornado activity. The severity of these tornadoes is also cause for concern. As of April 6, there have been at least 16 EFU tornadoes, 116 EF0, 171 EF1, 68 EF2, 18 EF3, and 2 EF4 tornadoes. These categories measure the strength of tornadoes, with EF0 being the weakest and EF5 being the most destructive. With such a wide range of tornado intensities, it's clear that communities across the US are facing significant risks and damages. Unfortunately, the impact of these tornadoes isn't just measured by the numbers. The loss of life is a heartbreaking reality. In 2011, a devastating tornado outbreak in Joplin, Missouri, claimed the lives of 553 people. And this year, with approximately 70 deaths already reported, 2023 is quickly climbing the ranks to be one of the deadliest tornado seasons on record. As meteorologists and researchers continue to monitor and study these tornadoes, communities in the US are on high alert, bracing for more unpredictable weather. But there is something far more foreboding looming on the horizon, slated to arrive by the end of this month. The culprit? A menacing big blue blob of cold air settling into the western US, triggering heavy snow showers in the Cascades and Rockies, and even reaching as far south as northern Arizona. At first glance, it may seem like run-of-the-mill West Coast weather, but don't be deceived. This malevolent blob has grander plans in store. As temperatures plummet in the west, they will soar to 20 degrees above normal in parts of Texas and Oklahoma in the coming days. The collision of warm air from the south and cold air from the north will create the perfect storm, set to brew near Denver, Colorado later in the month. The initial impact of this impending tempest will be felt by those in Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, and western Colorado, as gusty winds and heavy snowfalls blanket the region. And the snowfall will intensify as we delve deeper into April. A potent low-pressure system will journey from the front range of Colorado towards the upper Midwest, drawing warm, moist air from the front and transforming it into snow on the backside, resulting in an imminent blizzard up north. Meteorologists are predicting over a foot of snow for many areas, accompanied by fiercely strong winds as the low-pressure system intensifies. As if that weren't enough, the combination of the frigid upper air mass, the warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, and the deepening low-pressure system up north will set the stage for yet another severe weather outbreak. It's a familiar pattern that meteorologists have seen before, and it's ringing alarm bells. This convergence of elements is reminiscent of past severe weather events, and the warning signs are clear. A powerful storm is on the horizon, ready to unleash its fury. The models are showing some eerie similarities to past weather events that were nothing short of catastrophic. Meteorologists are calling these events analogues, and let us tell you, they are ringing some serious alarm bells. For instance, remember the April 26, 1994 outbreak that caused a staggering $130 million in damages from Texas to Iowa, or the infamous 2012 Leap Day outbreak that claimed 15 lives and left a trail of destruction worth $500 million. These analogues all share one common thread: widespread tornado outbreaks that wreaked havoc across the central US. But here's the kicker. Despite the similarities, there are also key differences that make this upcoming weather event even more concerning. The weather patterns may seem familiar to those past analogues, but there are smaller, localized features that are still lurking in the shadows, waiting to reveal themselves on the day of the event. These subtle nuances will ultimately determine how this one will play out, and that's what's keeping meteorologists on their toes. What's even more worrisome is that the model guidance we're seeing now suggests that this upcoming weather event will be different from what we've seen before. One big game changer is the Colorado State University's machine learning probability model, which has been remarkably accurate and is maxed out over a larger area than ever before. Translation: there's a high level of confidence that this event is going to be significant, to say the least. It's not every day that we see a colossal trough colliding into a massive warm sector like this. To add to the complexity, the warm sector of this storm is incredibly wide, which means that any storm that forms within it, if it remains discrete, has the potential to become a long-track supercell. There's practically an endless supply of nadir juice out there, fueling these storms to become powerful and destructive. While it's still too early to pin down exact timing, the current outlook suggests that the storm will ignite from Texas all the way up to Wisconsin, and an outbreak of supercells could persist from Arkansas to Iowa, unleashing large hail and tornadoes along the way. And if that's not enough, a massive squall line with destructive winds is expected to form in east Nebraska and march eastward, leaving a trail of chaos in its wake. And here's the clincher: it's not just us sounding the alarm. The Storm Prediction Center, considered the most capable forecasting group on Earth, shares the same concerns. Their latest outlook highlights a vast area in the South and Upper Midwest at an enhanced risk for severe weather. Brace yourselves, folks, because this upcoming severe weather outbreak is shaping up to be one for the books, and it's time to be prepared and stay vigilant. With the 2023 tornado season already surpassing historical averages and posing significant risks to life and property, it's a stark reminder of the raw power and unpredictability of nature's fury. The aftermath of a tornado can be devastating, with homes and businesses reduced to rubble, communities torn apart, and lives forever changed. Rebuilding and recovery can be a lengthy and arduous process, requiring immense resources and support from both local and national efforts. Despite the devastation they bring, tornadoes also highlight the resilience and strength of human communities. In the face of adversity, neighbors come together to help each other. First responders and volunteers work tirelessly to provide aid and support, and communities rally to rebuild and restore what has been lost. As tornado season unfolds in the United States, the anticipation and anxiety are palpable. Will this year's outbreaks be as destructive as those in the past? Can we ever truly predict or control the path of these powerful storms? The answer remains uncertain. Tornadoes continue to remind us of the raw power of nature and our inherent vulnerability in the face of its forces. With each passing storm, we are reminded of the need for preparedness, resilience, and community support. As we brace ourselves for the harrowing and unpredictable dance of tornadoes in the United States, we are reminded of the delicate balance between human civilization and the forces of nature that shape our world. Now, let's hear your thoughts about these warnings in the comments below.